righty, it's pre-Friday, a.k.a. Thursday. I am tired. It's a dark, dreary day today. I didn't even leave the office for my lunch break. I just had some leftovers from last night, reheated those. I went to the kitchen, saw Viktor was microwaving Taco Bell from also last night. So that video is up on our socials at KBear101 FM. I did like somebody's comment saying that Taco Bell's reheated lettuce is like nuclear waste. I thought that was pretty funny. If you want to get a hold of me, you can over at 208-535-1015. I did see a lot of people yesterday putting out their Spotify Wrapped. I decided to join in on the fun. I believe my number one band for the year was Bad Omens, then Architects, then Silverstein, then Dayseeker, and then Siamese. I think that was the order. It had a lot of tracks from the beginning part of the year, back when I was going to the gym at 4 a.m. Had a lot of those tracks. I don't really listen to all that much music outside of here because I listen to this stuff all day, every day. That when I'm off work, all I want to do is just listen to a podcast or listen to nothing. And for the most part, I listen to old Howard Stern clips like I've talked about before. That's about it, really. I don't really listen to much music. I see some people's Spotify Wrapped, their results, like their minutes, I mean. And there are people with like over 200,000 minutes of music listened to. I think you just have it on in the background. How many minutes are in a year? I need to look that up. How many minutes are in a year? 525,600 minutes. So you're telling me you spent half the year just streaming like the funeral portrait, for example? There was a lot of people in the funeral portraits coffin crew that I saw that were like, yep, I have 275,000 minutes. I listened to the funeral portrait over 2,000 times. Like, okay, wow. What was really funny is somebody posted that in the funeral portraits coffin crew, their Facebook group, and the person said, what do I get for listening to over however many minutes they had to the funeral portrait? And Lee Jennings, the vocalist of the band, was like, you get a solid high five. Even with listening to that much of their music, I don't think they get paid all that much because, Spotify is such a ripoff. Make sure to support your favorite artists, buy their merch, buy their stuff, their vinyls, their CDs. Do whatever you can to support your favorite bands because it is tough out there for musicians. Anyway, Peach's Pip Party will continue here in just a few on KBear 101. Somebody posted on Reddit in the unpopular opinion sub, they're thinking that the lead up to Christmas, listening to Christmas music, putting up the tree and decorations and baking cookies, going to parties, shopping, counting the number of sleeps till Christmas, etc., is all fun and exciting. But then the day arrives, and once you open your gifts and eat, there's nothing to be excited for. Which is definitely true. I mean, have you ever planned a wedding? You have all this time to just plan the guest list, where guests are going to sit, the venue, everything about it. And then the wedding's like, what, a few hours? And then you're officially married, and that's it. The build up to Christmas is, I would also agree, the most important part. You get to watch the movies. You get to get yourself in the mood for the Christmas season. If the weather's cold outside, you drink hot cocoa, you have a fun time. Christmas morning comes around. Once that final present is opened, boom, it's done. You got to wait till next year. We used to elongate the gift opening process just so we could have it last all day. I think the latest we ever went to was like 2 p.m. And then relatives came over with even more presents to open. So it is fun when it lasts all day. But when you have a Christmas like what I'm expecting to have, where you FaceTime your parents at like 8 a.m, open up presents for the 1 hour, maybe even 30 minutes, and then boom, Christmas is done and over with. The buildup is so much better. I believe this band is coming out with a new track tomorrow. It's From Ashes to New Disease on KBear 101. Peach's Pit Party on KBear 101. Now, my dad, for the most part, I've talked about this before. My dad has brought up Christmas bonuses in the past. There was a time I was working at Payway Asian Diner, and it was close to Christmas, and my dad was all like, are you going to get a Christmas bonus? And I laughed because I have never even heard of such a thing. It was a thing back in the 60s through the 80s, but, employers now don't do anything of that sort. They'll give you a pizza party at best, and the pizza's not even all that good. Employers, I should say, used to hand out those envelopes of cash as gifts to their employees. I wish that was still a thing, huh? In radio, you get that whole thing of, you do it because you love it. It's a labor of love. You don't have to go to work. You get to go to work and work your butt off for little to no pay. That's the whole point of radio, right? Unless you're a guy like Howard Stern, Elvis Duran, Ryan Seacrest, the list goes on, then you're making tons of money. But I don't think those contracts will ever be offered again. I can only imagine receiving a Christmas bonus. Oftentimes, it says here it's amounted to 1 week's pay. It was given the last workday before the holidays. There's that famous movie, Christmas Vacation, where Clark Griswold was expecting to get a whole giant Christmas bonus, but instead he got enrolled in the Jelly of the Month Club. Oh, man. That's the Christmas bonus now. You get like a $15 Visa gift card. Thanks for all the hard work. You can barely buy anything on Amazon for $15 or wherever. You can barely buy anything overall for $15. All right, I've seen it pop up from time to time, the Microsoft Excel World Championship. It is a thing. And I want to know exactly what happens in this World Championship. Do people just get a blank spreadsheet and then you have to make it all nice and crazy looking? Is that what you have to do? Let's read here. The 3-day event took place at the HyperX Arena in Las Vegas, bringing together the world's top Microsoft Excel players. The finals saw the remaining 24 players compete to solve a complex case using Microsoft's spreadsheet software. The final case, inspired by origami, involved players using their knowledge of the software to complete 130 questions spread across 7 levels. Okay. That still doesn't necessarily answer. So wait. The winner of the tournament would be the first person to answer all the questions correctly, securing a themed championship belt and $5,000 in prize money. Every 5 minutes, a player was eliminated from the final until 6 remained. After an hour of problem solving, this guy named Dermood Early topped the scoreboard with 1,250 points, over 300 points ahead of the 3-time world champion. That's insane to think you just beat the 3-time world champion. How do you practice for something like this? I like how the article goes on to say, what's next for XL Esports? With another competitive season wrapped up, information on the 2026 edition of the Microsoft Excel World Championship has yet to be revealed. Despite this, the global technology firm continues to support the blah, 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 blah. Okay, so there's really... is there footage of this on YouTube? I would love to see what this actually looks like. Esports are so funny to me because they're called sports, and you're not even you don't have to be athletic whatsoever to do something like this. You have to be intelligent, not athletic, but they're still called esports. And I don't know. Just people who win those video game tournaments and win lots of money just because they're good at Fortnite, good for them, really. I can only imagine being that good at Microsoft Excel to the point where you win a championship belt. And imagine applying for a job and they ask if you're proficient in Microsoft Excel and you can say, I'm the world champion at it. That's pretty cool to say. Corporate America loves doing layoffs around the holidays, but even the worst company in the world probably wouldn't tell an employee that their services are no longer needed or no longer required at 2:40 a.m. But that's what happened to NBA legend Chris Paul, who posted at the time on Wednesday morning, just found out I'm being sent home. The Clippers then released a statement saying, we are parting ways with Chris, and he will no longer be with the team. We will work with him on the next step of his career. Paul had been in and out of the team's rotation as they had stumbled to a 5-16 start. The Clippers cannot trade Paul until December 15th, as that's the first day players signed this season can be moved. Imagine that. You're Chris Paul, Hall of Famer. Your team just gets rid of you. On Black Friday, The Philadelphia Eagles suffered a brutal and embarrassing loss to the Chicago Bears. Eagles fans, of course, were not happy. Some of those Eagles fans took out their frustration by throwing eggs at the home of Eagles offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo just hours after the loss. During his weekly news conference yesterday, Patullo addressed the egging by saying, "We all know that part of our job is to handle criticism," but added, "When it involves your family, obviously it crosses the line." When the 2025 NFL schedule was announced, it was obvious that the Chiefs-Cowboys Thanksgiving game would be must-see TV. Well, the numbers are in, and the game didn't just break the all-time regular season audience record, it crushed it. 57.23 million viewers on average watched the game. This surpassed the prior record of 42.1 million set by the Giants and Cowboys on Thanksgiving back in 2022 by 36%. Should we do one more here? All right. The New York Jets are throwing their support behind a new women's collegiate flag football league. The 7-on-7 league will be run by the Eastern College Athletic Conference and feature 10 schools committed for its first season next year. The league was started with a $1 million grant from the Betty Wald Johnson Foundation, a charity named for the mother of the Jets owner, Woody Johnson. The regular season will run February through April, with the title game held at the Jets Training Center, with hopes that future title games could be played at MetLife Stadium, home of the Jets and Giants. That does it for your lengthy Shot Clock Sports update today on K-Bear 101. Yesterday, I was driving to Rexburg. I braved the snowy road conditions just to go see my girlfriend, And at one point on the drive there, all of a sudden, everyone in front of me starts slowing down, hitting the brakes. I'm like, uh-oh, what's going on? Has there been an accident? Is there like a cop trying to tell people to go down to one lane, during the busiest time of the day at like 5:30? There's some cop telling people to merge into one lane and it slows down traffic drastically. Boy, do I hate that. What's even worse is when you're driving somewhere and then traffic comes to a standstill on the highway, and then you pass by somebody who just simply got pulled over by a cop, and that's what people are driving slower for. They just saw the person get pulled over, and that's it. That happened on the drive to Rexburg. Somebody was just pulled over. That was it. I couldn't imagine living in L.A. now, because I never lived in L.A. I grew up in Orange County, which is about 30 miles south of Los Angeles. I just say I grew up near L.A. because nobody really knows where Seal Beach, California is unless they're familiar with Southern California. But I was reading the story here about this Los Angeles man is charged with stopping freeway traffic to film music video. Wait, is this story just now popping up? And is this one of those things where, this is one of those things where the thing finally went to court, but this happened back in 2023. I think that's what it says here. Yeah, the closure happened in 2023, prosecutor said. As part of the video, drivers conducted donuts around a performer who was charged with conspiracy to commit exhibition of speed. The man, Eduardo Eric Martinez, and a group of drivers stopped northbound traffic on the 110 freeway near the 9th Street off-ramp on November 22nd, 2023, according to the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office. Several vehicles blocked the lanes as afternoon traffic swelled, with the closed highway creating a makeshift stage for Mr. Martinez. Oh, that would absolutely suck. I feel like you would get that one guy in LA that would just run him over, or at least try to, Oh, man. People, just drive normal. Just drive out there, drive for the conditions. I did see a video pop up that sort of gave me PTSD. Is it Moscow, Idaho? Is that how you say it? Instead of Moscow, Idaho, you're supposed to call it Moscow, Idaho. This the Moscow Police Department uploaded a video of some Subaru just all of a sudden, it was driving just fine, and then all of a sudden it starts to drift and almost goes off the road. Oh, be careful out there. We've teamed up, by the way, with the Idaho Office of Highway Safety because we care about you and want to make sure you get to where you need to go this holiday season. So if you are a designated driver as well, out of your friend group, you're the one trying to keep your friends safe this holiday season, Go to the K-Bear 101 app right now. My Snapchat's going off in the background as I'm trying to talk. I should have silenced my phone. Go to the K-Bear 101 app, click on designated driver, fill out the form, and you can win a $25 gift card to Mackenzie River Pizza of Idaho Falls. I can tell it's a slow news day because I just got an article popping up right here on my feed. How to decorate your Christmas tree to create joy. Yeah, a full-on BBC article that talks about how to look after your tree over Christmas. Should you buy a real or fake one? How should you decorate your tree? So on and so forth. And the real tree people, the people who just go out there and chop down their own tree, they're so loud and proud that they have a real tree and they will never, ever, ever get an artificial tree. I'm the opposite. I would never, ever, ever just get a real tree. They die. You just got to throw them out. You might as well just have an artificial tree. That's just my thing. You can do your own thing. I don't care whatsoever. But I have this 6.5 foot artificial tree. I put on the little plastic balls around it. It has lights. That sparks enough joy for me, I think. Peaches Pit Party right here on K-Bear 101. There is this thing called the Giving Machine. I've talked about it already a bunch of times, but I do want to let you know about it, just in case this is the first time you're hearing about the Giving Machine. It's not a regular vending machine. Instead of buying yourself something, you give back to the community, you give back to a global charity, a local charity, maybe both. You can just give back to whatever you want. It takes mobile payment, it takes credit and debit, and 100% of your donation goes directly to what you chose. 100% of it. Doesn't go back to the Giving Machine in any way, shape, or form. They just help supply your donation to whatever you feel like donating to. I did see something about like 120 jars of peanut butter you could buy for a whole bunch of families. I saw you could buy like soccer balls for kids just so they can, have something to play with, that type of thing. The Giving Machine right now is in Rexburg at Hemming Village, all right? If you want to learn more about it, you can go to givingmachineeastidaho.org, or you can also click on the Giving Machine right now in any one of the channel apps, the K-Bear app, the Alt app, or the Cannonball 101 app. You know what's awesome about being in radio is you get to do things like interview artists, and you just get to simply talk to them for free. That's it. I don't have to pay money for a meet and greet that lasts like 5 minutes. I just talk right to the artist if I want to. Like the one time I interviewed Dave Mustaine, chatted with him for like 10 minutes over the phone. It was awesome to get the chance to talk to the metal legend himself, that is Dave Mustaine. I heard Viktor talking about this morning, and then it popped up on my feed, the Let There Be Shred, the ultimate Megadeth immersive listening event. It's $950. Takes place January 17th. You got to fly to Laverne, Tennessee. It'll go from about noon to 10 p.m. You stay inside Megadeth's most exclusive all-day immersive celebration. An unprecedented experience is what it says here on the website. Hosted a short distance outside of Nashville in Laverne, this one-day event lets you get closer to the band, the music, the stories, the legacy than ever before. It'll include the following. You get to listen to the new album early, Megadeth acoustic performance. Not really a fan of acoustic performances, so I'm already out. Megadeth masterclass. I'm assuming you get to learn how to play the guitar like Dave, from Dave. A Q&A with the band, guitar talk with Dave and Gibson's CEO. Pretty cool photo op with the band. You get a catered dinner, Megadeth beer, and House of Mustaine wine. Immersive photo op experiences, autographed album art, poster, exclusive merch, and more. So does that mean you pay the $950 and you also have to pay for your flight and everything to Laverne, Tennessee? How much are flights from Idaho Falls to Nashville, at least? Because I have a friend who just moved to Nashville, and I would love to visit him and also meet Megadeth at the same time. If only I had $950 to spill. Yeah, these flights are expensive. Of course they are. Finally, something worth talking about. I saw this question: what's a tiny design flaw in an everyday object that quietly annoys you every single time you use it? Me and my girlfriend, we have this ongoing battle where we try to find the best picture frame we can at a place like Ross, TJ Maxx, etc., Home Goods. If we ever go to Twin Falls, we always try to find the best picture frame, and usually she's right on it. Usually she wins every single time. But I've been getting a lot of new picture frames, and the one thing that really annoys me is they decide to put the sticker on the picture part. So then you try peeling it off, and then it leaves the remnants of the sticker on the glass, And I see right here, this top reply to this question. The sticker they put on new glassware or plates, it's not the normal satisfying to peel kind. It's the evil paper-based kind that's designed to tear into 50 tiny pieces, leave behind a permanent sticky residue that will outlive civilization itself, Plastic sealed food packaging where there's a tab to peel the lid off, peel off the lid, But when you pull it, it just peels off the edge and leaves the package sealed. Fall for it every time. It's another great answer there. Websites with information in the footer that always disappears because the designers added infinite scrolling. Oh, that sucks. My least favorite thing right now is when you go to a website and you go to look at a news article, the pop-up ad comes up and just takes up the whole screen. Usually I'm looking up lyrics to songs. That's what I do for the most part. I'll sit in here and I'll listen to a song that I want to add to the system. I'll make sure there's no, bad, naughty language in it. So I'll go to this one specific website because I like the way that they have it all structured. They'll say like verse 1, pre-chorus, chorus, and so on and so forth. I liked the website, but then all of a sudden they started incorporating ads into any single time you visit the website. So now I'm getting Panda Express filling up the middle of the page, and it splits the song in half. It annoys me every single time. I saw somebody, I don't know if it was on Reddit or Facebook or whatever, talking about Lamb of God's upcoming tour. Lamb of God set to go on the road with Kublai Khan, Fit for an Autopsy, and Sangui Sugabog. They're going to be at the Union in Salt Lake City, which I don't know how big the Union is. I believe it holds like 1,000 maybe. What's the Union capacity? Let's look that up real fast here. Searching. The Union. That's the wrong Union. It just gave me a venue in Kansas City. Wait, Salt Lake Event Center that can hold up to 3,500 people. So it can hold more than I thought. Last time I was at the Union, I saw Bad Omens there with Era and Icy Stars. I don't remember 3,500 people being able to fit inside the Union. Maybe this is wrong. I mean, this is the Google AI after all, but some guy was complaining on Facebook. I think it was Facebook. This guy was like, last time I saw Lamb of God, they were at the East Center. What happened to them? Did they fall off? It's like, no, dude, I'm sure they just decided to go with smaller venues on this tour. I mean, wouldn't you? Wasn't it last year they were doing the Utah First Credit Union Amphitheater with Pantera? Wasn't it them? Wasn't it last year? I think it was Pantera and Lamb of God doing a tour. It was like the heaviest tour of the summer or something like that. And it was Pantera and Amon Amarth. But I remember Lamb of God also toured with Pantera, I think. But I can only imagine seeing Lamb of God at the Utah First Credit Union Amphitheater, formerly known as the USANA Amphitheater. Trying to see Lamb of God at an amphitheater would suck. You would want to see them in a tinier venue, one big room like the Union. I mean, that's a stacked lineup. That's going to be a violent show. You kick off the show with Sangui Sugabog. You then have Fit for an Autopsy, another heavy band. Then you have Kublai Khan, where people are going to be two-stepping and punching each other. And then you got Lamb of God, where the whole place will be a pit. So that's going to be a crazy show. You can find that on our concert calendar at riverbendmediagroup.com/calendar. All right, I was not going to talk about this story, but it seems to be the only option for today's What the Headline. Viktor talked about it yesterday. The story about a raccoon that raided a liquor store in Ashland, Virginia. Staff at that liquor store showed up for work on Saturday, found the shop had been broken into. Yeah, it was a raccoon that broke into the store, a very drunk one. The masked bandit was discovered passed out in the bathroom, wedged between the toilet and the trash bin after helping itself to some bottom shelf booze. Animal control officer was called in to handle the situation. She says the raccoon had apparently fallen through a ceiling tile, then went on what she described as a full-blown rampage, drinking everything. Bottles were smashed, liquor pooled across the floor, and the critter's drink of choice seemed to be scotch. Now, what do you do in that situation? Do you have insurance on this type of thing? For this type of thing, I should say? Do you get that covered? Like, hey, some random raccoon just trashed my liquor store, got rid of a good amount of the inventory. The raccoon luckily showed no signs of injury, was safely released back into the wild. I wonder if this raccoon will bring back other animals to also try the bottom shelf booze. I mean, who knows? But that is today's What the Headline right here on K-Bear 101. I was reading this story from the radio prep about this one mom. She's a younger woman. She's a young mom. She set a budget of $100 for her 4 kids for Christmas presents. And I'm just thinking, I'm so glad I got so lucky with my family. I could only imagine having to deal with a mom like this. Now, this mom in particular, she's doing it to kind of just budget for the most part. She's like, yeah, I can't afford to actually gift all 4 of my kids a whole bunch of presents, so I'm going to split $100 evenly between the 4 of them, and I'm going to buy some stuff from thrift stores, buy secondhand, just what you want. Some like jewelry box from Ross that smells like cigarettes and number 2. That's going to make a great Christmas. I mean, you can do what you can do, right? Don't get me wrong. Like, you can only gift what you can. Like, I wish I could gift so much more. I don't care about really receiving gifts all that much on Christmas. I would so rather gift other people things. It was a really cool thing to see Viktor get gifted an awesome new Fender guitar, thanks to Ben and Mason and Damien from the Advocates Injury Attorneys. Posted that video on our socials yesterday, by the way. You should check that out at K-Bear 101 FM. Let's play some Thornhill Mercia on K-Bear 101. President right there, in the name of the Father. I saw they did their first U.S. show a couple days ago, maybe last night. I didn't realize they only performed in Europe at this point until now. I mean, they're going to be going on that U.S. tour with Bad Omens and Beartooth as well, making a stop at the Delta Center in Salt Lake City. It's going to be a great show. I don't know why people are hating on President. I think it's because, like we've talked about before, with the masked band fatigue, that there's a lot of people that are like, wait, how did President get so big? It's cool to hate in the rock and metal world. It's cool just to hate what's popular. It's a weird mindset, right? To think, oh, this band came out of nowhere, has had major success. They're doing pretty well for themselves. Let's hate them. It's like Taco Bell when they introduce a new popular menu item. Let's take it off immediately. Let's have people just be nostalgic about it on social media. Why? President doesn't seem like all that bad of a band. I mean, we all know who the lead singer is. I forgot his last name. It's Charles something, right? Charles Simpson, is that his name? The guy from Busted? He's been in the music industry for so many years now, and he just decided to start this band called President. Comes out wearing a mask. Everyone else is also wearing a mask, and they marketed this band so well that their first appearance, I believe, was at Download Festival. Was that it? Where is Download Festival? Where does that take place? Download Festival takes place over in the UK, right? Donington Park. Okay. Yeah, wow. President, Beartooth, Bad Omens going to be at the Delta Center. Should be awesome to see all 3 of those bands. Check it. Find that show on our concert calendar at riverbendmediagroup.com/calendar. Thanks for listening to Peach's Pit Party, the podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please share, subscribe, and rate the podcast. Peach's Pit Party is hosted by me, Peaches, a.k.a. Brendan Peach, and is a production of Riverbend Media Group. For more information or to contact the show, visit riverbendmediagroup.com. Until next time, Peach out.